Oh, yes, and a great day starts with the right thought and the right attitude.
And a fantastic workday must include watching the best breakfast show on terrestrial TV.
Oh, you better believe it. Now, good things start very early right here on the show and on this special Tuesday. And believe me, it is indeed a special one. I'll save that one for later. This edition, we have just the right amount of whatever you might be looking for, anything you need to get you nudged towards that right direction for a Tuesday.
Talking about the right direction, I'm sure that you are wondering where Mr. Mesikeno is.
Don't worry, we are going to find out.
We have some insight into Mike that you probably never knew.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we're going to be sharing it a little later on. But it's all about an amazing array of content, and we're prepared to make it extra special just for you.
That's right. Now, it's another superb edition with the cool gang. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. Remember, you can use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms to be a part of the best breakfast show on Nigeria TV.
And also, remember that you can watch us live from absolutely anywhere that you might be across the world. All you need to do is download our app, which is available on Google Play Store and on iOS.
We also implore you, follow us. Please, shadow. You know what? Telewa. That's how they say it in Yoruba, right?
Yeah, it didn't sound right, but it's okay.
It's weird. It's weird, right? Social media is a thing. Facebook, Instagram, at TVC Connect. You should be there because we're there right now.
Yes, indeed. So this exciting Tuesday, let's let you guys know exactly what it is we have. We're going to be starting with health, and we will be joined by Okweyemi Adeyemi, a medical practitioner with specialty in community medicine and primary health care. As an author of 2 books on sexual and reproductive health, today she will be here to discuss why isn't the rate of HIV and AIDS going down?
Very interesting question there. And for parenting, Femi Shofolue, a thoroughbred, passionate youth teacher with more than a decade hands-on experience, will be discussing this issue of single parenting. Now, we often brush it aside, but it's a lot of work. And we'll be looking into what exactly it entails later on.
And of course, finally, award-winning actress, scriptwriter, and movie producer will be joining us in the loft today for an interesting conversation. Jumoke Odetola has starred in several English-language movies and, well, Yoruba-language movies as well. So we'll be talking to her later on in the show, and you guys are going to enjoy this one. Plus, I have some very specific questions that I'd like to ask. Ah, yes.
Hello and welcome, everyone.
Welcome to a Tuesday edition here.
This morning, you know what we spoke about yesterday?
Which one? We spoke about so many things, Mike.
The press conference, Tampan. So I listened to the press conference and all of that. And I was shocked the way these kind of things they make people.
Sounded very personal, didn't it?
Yeah. So it had that thing that they just all came together, and you know it was Jide Kosokoda and some other people who were the way they were attacking. I was like, what could they have done that it became so?
That's why I thought it was a very interesting topic yesterday. And it's going to tarry for a very long time because I can see a lot of people jumping on this whole thing.
A lot of comments, very interesting, lengthy comments. You know, we hardly ever really get lengthy ones on topics, but people were really interested in weighing in.
A lot of people have, they've got things they want to tell or say about this. And of course, it's been an age-long problem, the issues surrounding it, molestation especially, and you know.
There was something he actually said. He said, okay, she's not a member, we'll not suspend her, but we are suspending directors or everybody from working with her. We will end her in this industry or something like that.
That was the phrase that actually got people
like, you know, something like that, like,
it sounded very personal.
You know, it sounded like, is she, I don't know.
So I know we probably won't have much time to get into what we're really celebrating here on Wake Up Nigeria today, but we will be doing that a bit later on.
I've joined.
I've got a very interesting fact which I'd like to segue into what it is we're talking about today.
Just hold on.
Check this out. Did you know that sons are generally never shorter than their mothers? In any case where they are, it is only because their fathers are exceptionally shorter than their mothers. Extremely shorter.
Okay.
Now think about it. People, think about any guy you know. Have you ever seen them with their mother? They're always,
they're always taller.
Always. It's a genetic thing.
Really?
Yes. Mother Nature will not let you be shorter than your mother if you are a man. Are you taller than your mother?
You should be.
I am,
You should. Of
I am
course,
definitely.
Everybody is.
I know my brother.
Everybody.
is taller
Best man, are
than
you
me.
taller than your mother?
Yeah.
GOC, you're taller than your
Yes,
mother.
of course.
Mr. Francis, you're taller than your
There's
mother.
some people that
everybody's
so if your mother said that, you want to now say no.
Your father is. It is a fact. Now think about it. Do you? I mean, it's just think.
They say intelligence comes from
It's
the
a
mom.
very interesting fact you brought
Yeah.
up. There's something to think about, some food for thought.
Yeah.
And intelligence comes from the mom.
Oh, that one I
Yes.
know. Yes.
Now, welcome. First hour here for the news. My name is Mazino Appeal. Let's begin. Now, we begin with the decision of the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos adjourning till October 7, where the wife of the former president, Patience Jonathan, will know if she will finally forfeit the $5.78 million and 2.4 billion naira linked to her. Now, Justice T.G. Ringim fixed the date after taking arguments from counsel to the parties in the matter. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission filed the application for forfeiture in 2017 before Justice Mojisola Olatoregun. Now, the defendant in the suit, while Mrs. Jonathan, alongside L.A. Warrior Furniture and Baths, according to the EFCC, the funds belonging to the ex-First Lady. Now, the monies were said to be warehoused in two banks. Justice Olatoregun, on April 26, 2017, ordered the temporary forfeiture of the monies, sequel to an ex parte application by the EFCC. The judge's order was confirmed by both the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court. However, midway on to the conclusion of the hearing on the financial forfeiture of the said sum, Justice Olatoregun retired from the bench in 2019. Now, meanwhile, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has blamed the menace of corruption and lack of transparency on the poor contract negotiations in the country. Now, the Vice President stated this while speaking at a two-day capacity building workshop for negotiators organized by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. In Abuja, according to the Commission, the workshop is part of efforts to help Nigeria improve the terms of engagement with the rest of the world in order to stem illicit financial flows. And Professor Osinbajo is now calling for proper negotiation by Nigeria in the ongoing discussion on climate change, which he said would put into consideration the country's peculiar economic situation and needs of the citizens, citing the P&ID and the Strategic Alliance contract cases. Now, the Vice President says Nigeria is at the risk of losing billions of dollars due to poor and shrewd negotiation of the contracts. Still in the nation's capital, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has commenced the online continuous voters registration exercise where intended voters can register before they complete the process at a designated center. Now, INEC portal, that's where they can do so. New voters, as of today, Monday, can pre-register, while those who have registered in the past can access the platform to view or review their voter registration status. Some of the features on the portal includes the ability to update personal information or transfer voters' registration to another polling unit. Registered voters can also request for replacement of damaged or defaced permanent voters' cards, PVCs, on the portal. Meanwhile, new voters are only required to fill the forms on the portal with their biodata and required documents, after which they are expected to visit INEC state or local government offices. At the INEC office, which they can visit from July 19, they will be requested to provide fingerprints to complete the registration. And that's it for the news.
Hello and good morning. It's Tuesday in this particular neighborhood, and we're about to take the headlines in the dailies. Today is Tuesday, June 29th, 2021, and we're starting with the Guardian newspaper at this point. Now, it says here, travelers ditch summer travel over multiple tests. 100% hike in airfares. Multiple PCR tests, quarantine restrictions frustrate holidaymakers. Foreign airlines jostle for Lagos-Abuja market without promotional tickets and blame weak naira, rate of exchange, high operating costs, says Bernard. Now, experts explore tourism destinations within Nigeria and Africa. Now, I say about time too. It says here, stakeholders canvass railway reform as Abuja-Kaduna Rail suffers another breakdown. Passengers stranded for hours. NRC apologizes to passengers, says incessant breakdown normal. Pause on that one. It's due to a lack of maintenance, say stranded passengers. And it also says federal government generates 918 million naira from rail in 3 months. And that's what we have on the cover of The Guardian. We're moving quickly to the cover of the Nigerian Tribune. At this point, it says here, our defecting governors lack courage. PDP say here, more on page 27. Threatens to challenge Zamfara governor in court. 18 APC governors set to receive Matawale. National State Assembly members, PDP excos at all levels in state to also defect to APC. Says here, tuition fees hike. One student killed in Kaduna. Page 5 has more on that. On restructuring, why we want to meet Ohaneze, Afenifere, others say ACF. PIB must address governance structure. Future investment, SGF tells NAS. And Sanwo-Olu reappoints 12 out of 14 sacked LASU governing council members. It says here, I'll wrap it with this one. Students go violent over colleague's death in Abeokuta. And on that sad note, we will be wrapping up the headlines in the dailies. Welcome back. I'm still in the kitchen, but the kitchen has transformed. Why? Because we have a brand new chef in the building. Now, her name is Chef Rejoice. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ma. Good morning, everyone.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, I can see you've already set out an array of amazing ingredients, but you need to tell us the name of the dish we're preparing today.
I'm preparing stir-fried chicken pasta.
Chicken pasta.
Pasta, yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, so what sort of ingredients do we need for this? Let's talk ingredients now. You don't have to touch them, but let's point to them. Okay. Let's start from here.
This one is onion.
Okay.
Garlic. Basil leaf.
Yeah.
Mixed spices.
Okay. Then, of course.
A green pepper, yellow pepper, and red pepper. Breast chicken.
And
carrots. Basil. Sesame seed.
Okay.
Butter. Spring onion.
All right.
Sesame oil. Soya sauce.
Beautiful. So we're going to take those ingredients for you one more time. We're going to put them on our screen so you can try it at home. We have garlic, carrots, onions, basil leaves, spaghetti, soy sauce seasoning, sesame oil, spring onion, sesame seeds, and chicken breast. Now, don't forget the salt and pepper as well as the red bell peppers. Now, different colored peppers always make the food really colorful. But what are we going to do first? I'm looking at this chicken with eagle eyes. What are we doing to this chicken?
We are going to slice the chicken.
Okay. Go ahead. So this is chicken breast. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah? I can see you're slicing it right down the middle.
No, you have to cut it into two before you slice, so it will be easy for you to slice.
Okay, fantastic. It looks like a very nice color. Very nice color for the chicken. I like that. And it looks, soft, so it's room temperature, yes?
Yeah.
So it's not frozen?
No, ma.
Okay. So what are we going to be doing to this chicken? What are we going to be doing to it on the fire?
After you slice it, you fry it.
All right. Now I have our pans standing by for us now. Let me turn the heat on so that we can get that set. So you're slicing it long ways.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're slicing it, I'm looking at the sizes you're slicing it into. So this is going to be a part of the stir fry.
Yeah.
You're not serving it as a protein on the side. It's all.
No, it's all.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. I'm gonna let you continue slicing. Let me put the heat on. And at this point, as she's slicing away and prepping for the rest of the cooking, we're going to be handing it over to Mazino. There's a very important parenting discussion about to begin.
Well, thank you very much, Tissy. There's something about you guys in the kitchen this morning that I really like. I don't know what it is, but it's just beautiful to see you guys pouring all over that chicken. Well, it's all good. Can't wait to see the finished product. Now, let's do parenting. This morning we have with us Mr. Femi Shofolue. He's a thoroughbred, passionate youth teacher with more than a decade hands-on experience. Now, he's joined us today to discuss something very, very interesting, something that, hey, it's very, very important. Single parenting. Mr. Femi, you are welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good to have you here. Single parents, they're in our society. We don't often pay too much attention to this, but it is a world of difference being a single parent and raising a kid. I can imagine where I feel my wife picks up, but in the case of one parent, how do they manage?
Single parenting is a phenomenon that we just have to come to terms with. It's growing by number due to several reasons. One of the major problems we have in Nigeria currently is the, what do we call it, mortality rate, especially for the male folks. And they tend to die early, according to statistics, than the female folks, right? Okay. So single parenting, there are several reasons that, can bring about this. A partner can get job outside the city and have to travel. We have surrogacy, which is growing day by day, failed marriage and every other thing like that, child out of wedlock. One of the things that I believe a single parent have to know is that you are 100% responsible for the raising of your kid or your children, as the case may be. And you cannot allow any of the balls that you are jogging, because you have to hold the two ends very tightly. In this case of where you have two parents, where one fails, the other can easily pick up. But at this junction, you are the Alpha, you are the Omega, except God be with you. So you really have to pay more attention to both sides, and then whatever is not within your reach, please don't even bother going for it, so that you don't drop the important things, which is, raising your kid and making them successful.
Wow, that is very, very tough. Now, is there a notable impact or lack of impact in kids raised by single parents? Is there anything that you could tell that, oh, this person was raised by just one person, just
a lot of disadvantages come with, being raised by a single parent. But if you are wise and God help you as a parent, you can actually turn that to strength to, make the life of your children even better. I happen to be raised by my dad. My mom left when I was in primary 2 or thereabout. And that actually became a source of strength. It made me more responsible much earlier. I started cooking much earlier than even a lot of female folks.
Interesting.
So some of these things, if you know how to engage them, they're actually a benefit on the long run.
Okay, so speaking from experience, had this been the other way around, had it been that you were raised by a mother, what differences do you think would be noticeable?
I think I probably would be more, spoiled, as it were, because mother tends to really. My dad was a little bit hard on me. I became a member of a paramilitary organization at the age of, say, maybe 11 or 12, and I was in that for 10 years. So I didn't really have time to even do all these mushy things that children do with their mom, and I became very hard at the early stage. That too has its own disadvantage. Being raised by a dad and joining the paramilitary much earlier at a very tender age. A lot of my physical physics were developed, but my mental capacity was very, very underdeveloped.
Which is funny that you should say this, because I was reading something one time where it said that fathers are actually responsible for the emotional upbringing of the child. So I'm wondering how exactly this pertains to the mothers as well. Now, if in your case, your father was more the guy who built you up to be, hard.
The hard time.
Then is it that the lack of your mother being there is what forced him to do or to be so toward you?
Just like we rightly started, being a single parent requires a lot. So you don't want any part of your parenting to be loose. So that tends to make you even hard on yourself, not just on your children.
I get you now.
You tend to shout, you tend to raise your voice every now and then just to make sure your voice is heard and the message is passed across. There's nobody there to help you reiterate whatever it is you are saying. So you have to say it twice or even more than more than twice to make it solid.
You talking to me now, I can see my wife talking to my daughter, do this, and then I'm the one who actually says, all right, Rain, you have to make sure that you do that. So in the case where I'm absent, that wouldn't be, and that's...
You will have to repeat herself.
Wow, that's very interesting. So how can single parents create that balance?
All right. The first thing I would like to say in this area is that single parents take advantage of every available opportunities that you have around you. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and that applies whether it's single parent or double parent, the both parent at home. Take advantage of every available opportunity. If you belong to a religious group, let your children join age group if it is safe and you deem it fit. Like I said, I joined Manowo. Actually, that is paramilitary organization I joined at a very tender age. If such is available around you as a single mother or as a single father, you can actually enroll your children and then monitor the progress to make sure they are not overdoing it. Every available time I was in paramilitary camp every now and then. I have a lot of certificates like that in my house, which don't really mean much to me today. And as a parent, because of time, I would like to say this. If you're a single parent, please find a way to pat yourself on the back. You are doing well. Because in the case of two parents at home, if you did well, your partner tends to reward you and appreciate you for that.
Yeah.
If you don't do that for yourself as a single parent, you are not doing well at all, because you need that to rebuild, to re-energize, and then, you know, to just encourage yourself and tell yourself you are doing well. I mean, if your children greet people when they meet them, that means you have done a good job. If your children allow other children to play with their toys, that means you are doing a good job.
Okay.
Then as a single parent, always be ready. If you go out to see your doctor, make sure you have something your children can play with so that they don't wander about. Attention span of children are very, very low. So you need to tighten out all those areas.
Now, this is very interesting because what you're saying now is not just focused on the children themselves, also on the individual who's raising that kid. Their mental status also is very, very important. For people out there now who are taking what you're saying, this template, does it apply to both, whether you're female or male, whether you're a father or a mother?
It applies to both, I believe.
It's just one template suits all.
Definitely.
And that's very interesting. Now, what about us outside looking in on a single-parent family? How can we apply ourselves? What do we need to do?
If you have a single parent around you, please encourage them. I tell you, they need every encouragement. See, once in a while, if you have a single parent around you, tell them to bring their children to your house. Let them go and have a nice time. If they have engagement, sometimes even children don't allow their parents engage with new relationships. So if you have single parent around you, let their children relate more with you, you know, so that they can find your place as a safe place that they can play while their mom or their dad is out trying to sort out their lives and get it back together.
Mr. Femi, it's always a pleasure to have you here, and this is very, very important. Thank you very much for joining us today, very timely, and discussing single parenting. And I'm hoping that you have out there taken some samples that you would be using as a single parent or one who knows a single parent. Very important as a community. Thank you very much, and do stay tuned. Let's do a break now. It's still Wake Up Nigeria.
And we're back in the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. Fresh Chef Rejoice is in the building with us. And she's been doing a lot of slicing and dicing, I have to say. Now, one thing about what we're making today is stir fries require a lot of tiny, tiny ingredients, right?
Yes.
All the ingredients have to be really, really shaped and tiny. And we're just trying to make sure all these ingredients are sliced to perfection. But I know there's something else we need to do now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We've prepped our warm water for spaghetti, or let's say pasta. Yeah? So did you put anything inside the water?
Yeah, I put a pinch of salt on it.
Okay.
Then you add your pasta, which is spaghetti.
All right.
Allow it
So like how long is this going to be on the heat for?
like 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay, fantastic. That will give us enough time to complete this. We also have a pan on the heat, but what goes into the pan right now?
We use it to stir fry our chicken breast.
Okay.
First of all, add your butter.
All right. Is this salted butter or unsalted butter?
Unsalted butter.
Okay. All right.
Add a little butter. Or you can use a vegetable oil if you have.
Okay. All
Allow
right.
it to melt. Then you season your chicken breast.
Okay. Let's show them the chicken breast right here. Okay. So seasoning the chicken breast with what? What are we putting in?
White pepper.
Okay.
Mixed spices. Just here. And salt.
Okay, all right.
Then you mix it.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, go ahead.
Then you mix it together as we are allowing our butter to melt.
Fantastic. Okay, so you're not going to leave this for a long time?
No.
You're not marinating and leaving for like 1 hour?
No,
Okay. I've seen some really interesting time frames on this marinating thing. You know, you have some chefs say they left it for 3 days, or 2 days, for 2 hours. And I'm like, is it not the same chicken? Anyhow, we're waiting for the butter to melt. But as soon as it melts, what are we adding to it?
We add our chicken breast there.
Okay. And our carrots look sliced. But are you ready to put those in now?
Yes, after you add your chicken breast,
Okay.
you leave your chicken breast more. Then you add your garlic.
Okay.
But make sure you chop your garlic.
Okay.
So let's do that now.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so we're slicing our garlic now. And I can see you already have onions standing by there. So onions and garlic is classic for any of my own meals. You know, I love the combination of onions and garlic in my food. Okay, let's see. There's something about melted butter that is just so encouraging. Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, trying to make sure this melts really well. The spaghetti or the pasta is almost set, I can see. But what are you looking for with the spaghetti? Do you want it to be soft, or do you want it to just be
Tender, just to be tender.
Just tender. Okay, fantastic. Okay, I think that's enough garlic for us.
Yeah, ma.
Fabulous. I'm definitely working on my julienne skills with you, Chef Rejoice. I'm working on it. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. So can we put in these before the chicken, or do you put the chicken in before the...
You put the chicken before the garlic.
All right. Let me help you out with that.
Thank you, ma.
Aha. Fantastic. Okay. I'm not sure what you are planning to use, but this is what I would use. So I know that this is not going to take very long, because this is not very frozen.
No.
It's just cold. All right. Let's let the heat do its work. Fantastic. Let's go through the ingredients one more time. For those of you who are trying it at home, it might make sense for you to make a video of this yourself and possibly post it online. Just take these ingredients down: garlic, carrots, onions, basil leaf, spaghetti, soy sauce, seasoning, sesame oil, spring onions, sesame seeds. We have chicken breast, of course, and salt and pepper, as well as red bell peppers. I know that these bell peppers are going to add a lot of color to this dish. So if you're trying it at home, just make sure you use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Okay. So our chicken is beginning to stir fry. Let's see if this heat is hot enough. Let's take it up a bit. Wow. All right. Okay. Hopefully you've got all those ingredients down in good time. But not to worry, this particular video will be going onto YouTube very soon. As soon as the show is done, you'll be able to go onto YouTube. Just check for TVC Entertainment, and you'll be able to see this particular video. All right, so there's still quite a lot of slicing and dicing to do right here in the kitchen. We haven't sliced our peppers yet, and that's a part I really, really enjoy watching. But everything else looks like it's on track.
Oh, the shenanigans never stop here. In fact, hey, where's our phone? We should be having some backstage going on.
Yeah,
right now.
some BTS behind the scenes.
It's all good. Now, the second hour comes with a brighter ray of sunshine. Even if we're in here and we don't know what it's like out there, we depend on you to let us know exactly what it's like, maybe using your comments and stuff.
Suddenly, it feels brighter, it feels warmer because of that fun-filled hour that just went by, especially that song.
Welcome to the second hour, people. Somebody what?
Somebody that God has been good to is Mr. Mike Mesikino.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Congratulations, he is 62 today.
And he has quite a few anecdotes and quotes of wisdom.
Of wisdom, yeah?
Yes. While he's in the kitchen.
Okay. Listen, what is this?
Chicken.
Chicken what?
Oh, here we go again. You
Chicken
come
breast.
off it.
No, I was going so.
Chicken breast.
I didn't know where you were going, but it didn't sound like the right direction.
You said you wanted some words of
That's
wisdom.
breakfast, and this is breakfast
Yes.
It's
television.
breakfast, yeah?
So if you would like to get him a gift, just think of chicken breast. Yes. Just think of that. And you'll make his day.
Titi, focus.
We have quite a lot to get through on today's show. The chef is doing amazing in the kitchen today. But Wake Up Nigeria kicks off now with myself. My name is Titi Layo Unison.
My name is Mazino Appeal, and I don't want to be here, but it's a fun day, and Mike has been thrilling us with some shenanigans around the place. Of course, he's very, very happy today, so congratulate him if you have to. Use our social media platforms to do that. Be a part of it. Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria, and maybe World Earth Mike Day.
Yes, World Mike Mesikino Day at Mike Mesikino on Instagram and Twitter, and of course at TVC Connect. You can also catch us via Google Play or iOS if you download the app, and of course at TVC Connect, all our socials are standing by for your tweets.
Yes, indeed. So,
did I just say that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
A force of
I
habit.
didn't mean it.
It's
Oh,
okay.
goodness me.
Very
Go
soon
ahead.
we'll be joined by Dr. Okoyemi Adeyemi, a medical practitioner with specialty in community medicine and primary health care. Now, as an author of 2 books in sexual and reproductive health, today she will be here to discuss why isn't the rate of HIV and AIDS going down.
And finally, award-winning actress, scriptwriter, and movie producer is going to be joining us right here in the loft for an interesting conversation. The one and only Jumoke Odetola has starred in several English language and Yoruba language films, and it's going to be an interesting conversation. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we have unfinished business from What's Up and About, and we're talking about that instance with the France team
With the
and
France
what's his
team.
name being infused.
Infused Benzema. What would you do if a member of your team tried to blackmail you in such circumstances?
Putting that in this team
year.
now.
Yeah.
If MM tried to blackmail me,
What would you do?
she's the most likely person to blackmail me.
Wow.
I thought for me,
I'm so sorry. No, but really.
See, my sister's confirmed it.
But you know the funny thing, I think it really does depend on how much value you place on certain things. So if you, especially your job, you know, anything that affects my job, I'm going to come.
No,
for
it
you.
wouldn't be funny. I wouldn't know how to handle it.
come
Honestly,
for you.
when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. There's no template for it.
Whoever
Yeah.
that person, if it's anybody, that person
Yeah.
should not be a member of that team. It's,
Yeah.
it's terrible, man.
Yeah, it's really
it
bad.
shouldn't happen.
Yeah. Welcome back for the second hour here. Wake Up Nigeria. Let's do the news again. Now we begin with the decision of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, rather in Lagos, adjourning till October 7th, where the wife of the former president, Patience Jonathan, will know if she will finally forfeit the $5.78 million and 2.4 billion naira linked to her. Justice T.G. Ringim fixed the date after taking arguments from counsel to the parties in the matter. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission filed the application for forfeiture in 2017 before Justice Mojisola Olaterogun. The defendants in the suit were Mrs. Jonathan alongside L.A. Warrior Furniture and Baths. According to the EFCC, the funds belong to the ex-First Lady. The monies were said to be warehoused in 2 banks. Justice Olaterogun, on April 26, 2017, ordered the temporary forfeiture of the monies, sequel to an ex-parte application by the EFCC. The judge's order was affirmed by both the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court. However, midway to the conclusion of the hearing of the final forfeiture of the said sum, Justice Olaterogun retired from the bench in 2019. Meanwhile, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has blamed the menace of corruption and lack of transparency on the poor contract negotiations in the country. The Vice President stated this while speaking to a two-day capacity-building workshop for negotiators organized by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission in Abuja. According to the Commission, the workshop is part of efforts to help Nigeria improve its terms of engagement with the rest of the world in order to stem illicit financial flows. Professor Osinbajo is now calling for proper negotiation by Nigeria in the ongoing discussion on climate change, which he says should put into consideration the country's peculiar economic situation and needs of the citizens. Citing the P&ID and the Strategic Alliance Control cases, the Vice President says Nigeria is at the risk of losing billions of dollars due to poor and shrewd negotiations of the contracts. Still in the nation's capital, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has commenced the online continuous voters registration exercise where intending voters can register before they complete the process at a designated center. Now, on the INEC portal, new voters as of yesterday, Monday, can pre-register, while those who have registered in the past can access the platform to review their voters registration status. Some of the features of the portal includes the ability to update personal information or transfer voters registration to another polling unit. Registered voters can also request for replacement of damaged or defaced permanent voters cards on the portal. Meanwhile, new voters are only required to fill the forms on the portal with their biodata and required documents, after which they are expected to visit an INEC state or local government office. At the INEC offices, which they can visit from July 19th, they will be requested to provide fingerprints to complete the registration. And now, outside, the United States has carried out another round of air raids against Iran-backed armed groups in Iraq and Syria in response to drone attacks against U.S. personnel and facilities in Iraq, with the militia threatening to retaliate. In a statement on Sunday, the U.S. military said it targeted operational and weapons storage facilities at 2 locations in Syria and 1 location in Iraq. It did not say whether it believed anyone was killed or injured, but the Britain-based Syria Observatory for Human Rights said at least 5 fighters were killed and several others wounded. Syria's state-run Sana news agency said 1 child had been killed and at least 3 other people were wounded. The attacks came on the direction of U.S. President Joe Biden, the second time he has ordered retaliatory attacks against the Iran-backed militia since taking office 5 months ago. Biden last ordered limited bombing against the targets in Syria in February, that time in response to rocket attacks in Iraq. You are welcome to another segment here where we're joined by Dr. Okweyemi Adeyemi, a medical practitioner, although I think that might also not be true. If we add model to it, then I'm going to agree with you. She is with us in the studio here, specialty here, community medicine and also primary health care. She's an author of 2 books on sexual and reproductive health. Today she will be here to discuss why isn't the rate of HIV/AIDS going down. Now, you are welcome, Dr. Adeyemi.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are a model at nighttime, aren't you?
Nah.
You're not? Sure?
Maybe in the hospital, yeah.
Maybe in the hospital.
Maybe.
I'd like to come. I'd like to be ill so I can come to that hospital.
Yeah.
It's good to have you here
Thank
today.
you for having me.
So let's talk HIV and AIDS, especially here in Nigeria. Now, I was opportune one time in my life to work with an organization that actually makes for HIV/AIDS awareness. But at the time, it seemed like the prevalent rate was going down. Why isn't it disappearing 2021?
So many factors. HIV, which is human immunodeficiency virus, which is also different from AIDS, which is the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. The thing is, number one, testings. Yes, we talk about the importance of testings, but a lot of people don't know where to go. So the knowledge and the awareness is one thing, and then the access to these facilities where they can have, care and also achieve that. Well, I would say it's a big coverage because when you look at the rural areas, there's the tough to reach population. So a lot of times when you're looking at, where the healthcare center is, where they can, get care, it's usually in urban areas, and the people forget about the rural areas. So
is it fact to say that in rural areas there is more risk than in urban areas? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes. Usually when we look at risk factors, one of the things is socioeconomic class. even though the care for HIV is free, we're looking at how much really costs them to get to the facility.
To the facilities.
So before someone thinks about getting their drugs, they have to think about how much the cost of transportation would be, how long before they get there. So these factors would influence, how they're able to access care.
But in urban areas, and I'm looking for a ray of hope here, is the level of awareness increasing or is it depreciating? We're not talking much about HIV or AIDS as we used to do like 10 years ago. Right now, with the present pandemic, focus has shifted to other health issues.
Yeah.
So is there still that level of hope at all?
Yes. If we look at it from the angle of stigmatization, then when it was a crazy thing happening, just like the pandemic, it was a big issue then. Everyone was talking about it because the rates were high. And now with treatment, you can walk past someone and not even know they have HIV because they would look real healthy. And that's the, success to care.
Okay.
So yes, and then, then people didn't want to touch or go near. And then
be associated.
Yes, associated with someone who has HIV. But now it's until you do a test before you know someone is carrying it, except they're not. Their viral load is very high and then they have signs and symptoms.
Okay.
Then before you can say, okay, maybe this person has HIV.
Does culture play a part, any part at all, in the rate of HIV and AIDS?
Yes. One of the issues would be the fact that we still believe so much in things like herbal concussions and then spirituality as well. So you have someone who is doing well on, HIV medications, and then because they heard about one beautiful, magical herbal mixture, they decide to try that, and that affects their viral load. The thing is that what the drug does is to suppress the amount of, viruses in the bloodstream, even to a stage where it's undetectable. But when you go off it and you start doing other things, the virus starts to replicate.
How long does one need to be off of it for the virus to come back, or to?
Usually would say that don't be off of it at all. So I would like to emphasize that. But if you've been off of it for close to 3 months, it will start to show in your body.
Okay. Now, are people living longer now with the advent of more research into retroviral drugs?
Absolutely.
So, from before, we've heard stories of Magic Johnson, for instance, is an icon when it comes to sports and even in the discuss about HIV/AIDS. He's been on for a very long time on drugs, retrovirals. With his level of, let's say, affluence, you would imagine that he can afford such drugs. Are these drugs that are available to the ordinary person who
it's free. It's free,
now,
actually. It's
okay?
free.
And the care and everything that goes with him. But are these drugs the same?
Okay, so the thing is, the key to a long life, quote unquote, with the drugs, number one, early detection. So the stage at which that person, is detected. So that's why we say go for testing. It's better for you to be at the acute. So when we talk about HIV, we talk about the stages. So you have the acute stage where it looks like flu-like symptoms, nothing really. That's because the virus just got into the body. The body is mounting up a response towards it. Then after that, you have the chronic stage, and that is where we call the asymptomatic stage. So in that stage, for decades, you could have it, and then you have no symptoms, no specific symptoms. But the virus is destroying the immune system. And then after that is when, without care, now goes into AIDS. And that is where, opportunistic infections, tuberculosis, cancers, and pneumonia starts to be a big problem. So imagine if I get someone at the acute phase, and I'm able to give them care, and they're on the medications, they would live longer. Unlike
obviously.
someone who, already have opportunistic infections, and it would take a longer time for them for the body to get back to what.
When you say opportunistic, you mean?
So when the immune system comes really, really low, it gets to a point where normal, flu that should take normal and then go away because your immune system is strong enough to fight it. But with HIV virus, it so suppresses. That's why it's called immunodeficiency. So there's something wrong with the immune system. So things that shouldn't be, a problem start to be a problem.
Quick and very quickly, because we are out of time. Are young people open to testing now than we were from years ago?
There's still a little bit of issue with that because people are afraid to know if there's any problem. So they'll tell you what you don't know won't kill you. So a lot of times the young ones, they're doing better now, but there's still a lot of room.
On that note, it's best if you find out in time. So, hey, early detection, like Dr. Adeyemi has just told, is actually quite key. So please do a test, get tested, and know what your status is. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you for having
Always
me.
a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening. Do stay tuned. We've got more on this special Tuesday.
Now, award-winning actress, scriptwriter, and movie producer is here in the house now. She has joined us for an interesting conversation.
Yes,
she's
Jumoke Odetola. You are welcome. Now, she starred in several English movies as well as Yoruba language films, and we are so happy, so glad to have you in the studio. You
Thank
light up the
you.
place. You walked in and then it was so bright.
Oh,
Sunshine.
really?
Wow.
Okay, maybe I'm the sun.
I know.
Okay, maybe I'm your sunshine for today.
Yes, indeed you are. Mike, take
for
notes.
today and forward.
I'm forward. Okay.
Meanwhile, just a little. It's just your son name. If you are just change some letters.
Yeah.
If you just switch some letters.
See,
What
Otedola.
What happened? What happened?
Even right when I was in primary school, people used to call me Otedola, and then I didn't even know what Otedola was. But after
Okay.
my dad passed on,
Okay.
I've been waiting and looking forward
For your-
to probably an adoption. An adoption.
Yeah, I tell you, you just said there was a mistake when we were born.
No,
they
there
just
was no
switched the
mistake.
name.
There was no mistake.
There was no mistake,
There was no
eh?
mistake. That was
All
out. But
right.
now I'm ready for an adoption.
You're ready for
Yes,
adoption
yes,
now.
yes, yes.
You know, go up. No,
In any case, great to have you here. Hey,
Thank you.
This will be one of the many times, let me not say a few times, that I'm getting the opportunity to interview someone who's into the Yoruba industry, Yoruba movie industry, and it's just which is something that I caught on to very late. I can mention just a few. I don't know if you've ever seen Oleku. The name that
Oleku.
Oleku.
That's Uncle Tunde Kilani.
Yes, that was my
Yeah.
first Yoruba movie, and I was like, wow, this is a fantastic industry.
Okay, he did one recently.
what is
it?
That's Ayinla.
Ayinla, yeah, I
Yes,
heard about
yes,
that one.
yes,
I feel
yes.
like,
And
so, when I look at the Yoruba movie,
I'm a major cast there.
Fantastic. Would you look
fantastic.
at that? Interesting. Now, I
we'll talk
definitely
about
have to
that
go
one. You
see
know,
that.
I look at the Yoruba movie industry and I feel like when I watch it, I can feel them more than I can. And this is not in any way trying to diss the English speaking, but you know, you have that thing that whenever someone is going down to culture, like
More visceral.
Yeah,
there's
it's
that
relatable.
Feel, you know, there's that feel and all of that. But then you also do English movies, yeah?
Yeah, I do
How
both.
is it like, you know, when you have to do let's talk about the sets, being on set for a Yoruba movie, being
Is
on
it
set
any
for an English speaking movie and all of that. What's the experience like working on you know, those
Well,
on
I would
those sets?
say they're both related. It's the storyline, if you are depicting a cultural movie, because the conventional movies it could just be a change in language. You understand, contemporary, everyday setting, the 2021 modern day setting it's just the change in the difference in language. That's the difference regarding that, except we are treating storylines that depict, epic,
Situations.
cultural settings and decades back. That's the one that has the difference. Otherwise, it could just be. And you know that Yoruba actually has the language. The language is so rich that there are some things you can actually say in Yoruba, and you would never
Can't
be.
translate them in
You would not be
English.
able to
problem with
interpret it
subtitles.
in
English.
English. There are some Yoruba words. For example, there is ekrole, ekale. In English, it's just good evening.
Yeah.
Evening is evening. You understand what I'm saying? So that Yoruba language has that culture.
Oh,
It
what's
has
the
that
difference?
richness.
Ekrole
Yeah.
is early
Ekrole
evening.
is evening.
E-
Ekale
Ekale
is night.
Okay.
But in
okay.
English, it's just
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Okay, definitely.
How did you manage into both industries, English and Yoruba?
well.
Which did you start with first? Yeah.
Yeah, I started with the English language movies before. Yoruba has this richness. There's something about it. There's something about it. In fact, if you understand it, it has this weight. It has this
Yeah,
depth.
that's what he was talking about.
It has the
yeah.
depth. So it's something you enjoy naturally when you understand
You're
it, and then you
pulled
can.
towards
And
it.
Yes,
pull towards
yes,
it. All right.
yes.
Incidentally, the Yoruba movie industry is embroidering a little bit tampan, which is supposedly it's the age is under which Yoruba movies or Yoruba movie directors and producers are
Why are you
working
looking at
on
me
that.
like that?
Oh, no, nothing.
You will say something about it. Tampan has been in the news, and of course, it's because of Iyabo Ojo and Nkechi. Nkechi Blessing is Yoruba. Sorry, it's
she's
Igbo
not.
now.
She's Igbo, but
she does Yoruba movies in Yoruba.
Yeah.
So really, have you? See the way she's looking at me.
I'm looking at you.
Have you? Wait,
I'm listening.
personally, first of all, have you ever, at any point in time, had maybe a segment or people working against you? Have you ever been, say, suspended or anything of that kind of sort? And what role do you think an organization like TAMPAN should play in the lives of actors?
Well, first of all, I would say the only part I heard was that part. But you know something about press, you know something about all this information. It's just about the narrative people want to push, you understand?
Jury.
Yes, I've not listened to the entire video, so I can't really say much about it. It's just that part that is cut out.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It might just be, so I won't really be able to say much about that because I've not listened to the full video. So.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about Ayinla.
Yes,
See
Ayinla.
how she's lit up all over again.
Well, no, we said something. That's so sweet. Yeah.
Let's talk about Ayinla. What should we expect for Ayinla? Obviously,
Ayinla is a great movie. It's a great movie. Of course, it's by the legendary Tunde Kelani and Jade Shiberu. They are great filmmakers. They are known for good works. They don't just churn out movies. It takes them time. They are not the regular producer. They are not your everyday producer. So the storyline is rich. It's something that I know would further project our culture globally because it has to do with language, music, culture, history. So.
Is it? What's the when it ranks in the Yoruba movies you've done? Where would Ayinla rank? Where would you place Ayinla?
Definitely, it's top. I would say that's the best I've done. Yes, wow. I would say that's the best I've done because and also, okay, when I got to that set, getting called for that project in the first place felt like it was a big deal for me. It was something I was very excited about because Uncle Tunde Kelani is someone everyone had always looked up to, you understand, as a great filmmaker. His movies are timeless. Yeah, they are not the movies you watch and then in a few years you forget. No, there is always that reference to it, you understand? So when I got called on, I didn't even know the role I was going to play, but I was just happy. In fact, if I was called on just to be on that set and sit and watch, I would have taken that chance because getting there, it was a learning process for me. I got to learn and unlearn some things, you understand? The setting was quite professional. Everything was, the synergy amongst the crew was top-notch, you understand? So it was also a learning process for me. It's a great movie. It's a fantastic movie.
All right.
It's a movie everyone should watch, yeah.
We'll check it out.
Generations should also watch.
Just one thing we'll round up and we have something for you here.
No, you won't talk about my own movie. Well, I just did the project now.
Which one?
That's My Mirror. I did the premiere last 2 weeks.
Okay, very fast. Just tell us about it.
So we'll talk about my movie too.
Okay, tell us about it.
That's My Mirror. The title is My Mirror. Okay. It's co-written and produced by me, and it's about abuse. Abuse in a different perspective, different from the everyday one we talk about, because most times when people talk about abuse, they look at the physical. When you tell people, okay, you're going through, this person is passing through this, they look at you and tell you you're fine. If they can't see, if there is no visible thing on you, they feel you're fine. You understand? And then this part we're talking about abuse in men. We're talking about abuse in children, abuse in men, because I already did a movie in the past that addressed that part of women. So I felt I should do something on that addresses abuse that part in men.
Okay, that's the trailer that was seen, right?
Yes, this is it.
Oh, you had some wonderful actors in there.
Yes.
The Sylvester Stallone of Yoruba movies. Is this Sylvester Stallone, or should I say? Wonderful.
Well, interesting. Thank you very much for addressing these issues, especially abuse in men. We're going to see more of this trailer before the end of the show, maybe while we're moving over. But it's great to have you here on the show. Fantastic. Thank you. You're a world of talent, and I can't wait to see you on both projects, yours and that of Tunde Kelani's. It's fantastic.
Okay, so we have something for you. While you go there, maybe we might tell Titi. Okay, let's check out the trailer, and then, of course, we'll get there.
Òkúta iyebíye ni wúrà kò láfiwé láàrin àwọn ẹkẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ tó sọ èmi gbọ́ rí.
That's the problem. I control your actions. Now is the time for you to live. leave him because he's evil.
Babe.
And my husband is trying to take advantage of me. Forbes list power is no longer in the muscles, it is in the head.
Torí Balógun fúnra rẹ̀ ti ń sá fógun. Tòkunbọ̀ ti ń lọ sí ẹ́mbásì lọ gba físà. Sáfẹ́jọ́gbọ̀n ti ń lọ sí kóòtù ń sìn gòkè. Ó ti wá ládàá tó wá fi gòkè kiri.
Hey, and we have the ladies in the kitchen. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the new movie.
Thank you.
We love the fact that Chef Rejoice has put together something really special for you. And she's just going to tell us exactly what it is quickly before you taste.
Okay, here we have a stir-fried chicken pasta.
Okay.
So
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
So to prepare it is just an easy way. It's just for you to put a pot on a fire, add your ingredients,
and get stirring.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm so glad you were able to come. she is one of our newbies. She's really nervous today. She's come for the first time on air.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's great. But she said she had to be here.
It's great, I'm the one tasting.
Yes, so you are the one tasting. She came here especially because Mr. Mike Masikeno is celebrating. So she had to Yes. So that's why she said she must be here. But you have to taste the food. Please have a taste.
Okay, it looks good.
Please go ahead. Go ahead. A big shout out to the guys on the couch. Mike Masikeno, we have a little partying to do today, don't we?
Yeah. This is actually a special delicacy.
Oh,
It's
beautiful.
It's going to be virtual.
It's actually.
You join on Zoom. I will send you Zoom link.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun here in the office today. Thank you so much for coming to join us. And thank you once again, Chef Rejoice, for all
COVID
the help.
guidelines will apply.
And to all of you at home, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be back again tomorrow morning from 7 a.m. with the Wonder Women of Wake Up Nigeria. See you then. Your views. Bye.